glad it was an accident, but it's a terrible feeling when something like that happens. Very uncomfortable feeling. And then when you called up on Thursday, I guess it was, that's just when it was going on. The police were there and all that.
But you made me feel very worried for you.
I know. Well, it was it just happened, and I couldn't believe it.
So you weren't sure if you were going to the hospital?
I knew everything was okay. But it was just the car and having to go through the hassle of calling the insurance company. We were doing all of that when you called.
Why would you call your insurance if you said you had to do it with hers?
We had to get advice from our insurance company.
It seems so involved.
It is. It is. It is involved. We have to get the police report, but it's a difference when it's your fault first. And I feel bad. It's a terrible feeling. But you always say, thank goodness everybody, if your hand was out, you said, right? That could have made a difference?
Could have creamed my hand.
Wow. Was she going fast or?
Not too fast.
Thank goodness it would have been a bigger.
What would have happened in Malachi's case then?
What do you mean?
Remember I told you he nearly got into the accident at that time?
Thank goodness everything.
Because you claimed that it would have been a problem if his girlfriend was driving that time.
Yeah, well, you know what then? Everything is fine, but now you really can't go in the car with his girlfriend because she has to prove insurance.
And according to him, I don't know why this matters, that because she's insured by someone else, she can't be insured by me, he thinks. For me, rather.
She has to register with the day.
Yeah, but he thinks he can't be insured for two people.
No, of course you can.
Because you can or can't?
Be insured for $1 million.
So why did Malachi think he couldn't? Or she couldn't?
Because she
you have
says
to pay for it.
Oh, this is another case. We had right away, and this woman just goes around. These people are crazy.
And are you going to say the Hasidic people?
I don't know, but she.
That's what Andrea thinks.
She should have waited.
Who? She always says the Hasidic people drive crazily.
Okay. In any event, then, in the meantime, the reason why I'd love her to drive. However, she has to be a worker of your day. And she
I thought you just said she has to be insured.
No, she has to be a worker of your day
And register.
and register and get approval.
So why does she think she can't?
Because she didn't try.
But that's the whole gist of everything.
Well-
You remember when they wouldn't let Patrick drive?
You mean Andrea?
Patrick
No.
with your day.
I'm talking about ARC.
Every FI has their rules.
Did you hear me? I'm talking about ARC with Andrea.
They had
That's
something. Well, it was different. There was the whole thing is she had some medical condition.
Which she thought was crazy.
Right. However, that was ARC. They applied that. Andrea's, you hire your Comhead workers. You have to like them. Ben and me, and
Didn't you just go around a car? Or am I
there
imagining?
was no car there, Ben.
Oh.
Daddy looked. So,
Marlene says you can never go around those yellow lines. That's why I was asking.
Marlene?
You know Aunt Marlene?
Yeah. When did she?
When you drove me once to a lunch,
Okay. All right.
she said supposedly you can't drive
You know what the problem is?
around double yellow lines. Is that correct?
You know what? Yeah. You know what the problem is nowadays?
What?
Guess who's around all the time? Where you can't like.
You're talking about police officers?
No. Amazon trucks.
What does that have to do with police officers?
Amazon trucks. There's one-way lanes. They park in front of some. It's one thing to be in front of our house, no problem. But let's say an Amazon truck. These little Amazon. You ever see these little Amazon trucks all over?
I've never seen how big they are.
But they have to stop in front of somebody's house. And
Not for that long.
it could be a while. It's
I thought the idea is not to impede traffic, right?
Well, that's what they're doing. These Amazon trucks, the gardeners, they put on.
Gardeners?
Yeah, all these trucks that cut the grass. They put their trucks right in front on a street like this. It gets me very frustrated.
I've never really noticed.
Well, I am, because I'm driving. Very upset about that. These Amatron trucks are terrible. They're all over the place.
Did you tell me Zucker was past the library?
Yes. You know how to get there, right?
No, I don't know how to walk there.
But then, basically, his girlfriend, if she's willing to register with you, Day, but she has to be a worker of yours.
Again, if I believe Malachi, he can't do that for two separate people.
Say that
Of
again?
course, he wouldn't get paid if she gets paid.
No, I'm saying that she said Malachi said that he she already is insured for someone else, I guess, for a different agency.
I don't know what you. So what?
According to him, you can't do it for both people.
Of course you can, but you have to register.
All I know is what he
Registered
said.
with you, Day, then?
I think it's with a different agency. I don't know.
Okay. If she wants to be a ComHab worker with your Day and work with you, she could be fine.
And it didn't stop you before because you didn't know, I guess.
But they both
Exactly.
can't get paid
But they both can't get paid.
Why not?
because one of them is
Only
your worker.
one. Yeah. If they have any problem, I understand.
I don't think Malachi's girlfriend was ever getting paid when she
She
worked with me.
shouldn't. He couldn't get paid. Ben, I understand it. If they want to speak to me, I'm a broker.
Again, I don't know much about this.
Right, and I always have all the ComHab workers. When they get hired, they have to get hired.
Why don't you bring it up with him?
Fine, let him come to me.
I'm not sure if he will.
I'll bring it up with his father. If he has a question, have him call me because I would love for him to get paid.
I mean, her or him?
Whoever.
both
Both
wouldn't
of
get
them,
paid.
however, they could only, she has to be a ComHab worker. She has to be hired with your Day.
I thought Andrea wasn't. I thought they have to just be employed by for something.
Andrea had to give her license and insurance.
Yeah, but I thought she was employed as a different thing besides the
It could be
job
either
code.
way. It could be either way. As long as she's employed.
Well, that's what I mean. You just need to be employed by Chesed.
Exactly. Have Malachi, because I understand how it works.
I don't feel like talking with Malachi about this. I'm assuming I hope you mean the father. I feel more comfortable with
I'll
him.
speak to the father, because he's very...
I feel more comfortable with the father than I do with the son.
Yeah, right, exactly. He was having trouble understanding it. I spoke to Malachi, the father, and he explained it to his son. I don't think his son understands it as well. And Malachi the father and I are on the same page. So I understand.
I don't know how, but okay.
I mean,
You don't have anyone who has two workers at once.
well, you can't. Well, basically, I think she might, if she registers with your Day, she could be a ComHab.
Not at the same time.
No, but she could just drive him. She might be able to drive him. I don't know how that works. I'd have to check, and I could check. I know exactly who to speak to.
You mean with Chesed or with DDSO?
Yeah, then I know everybody. I know as much as Lorna does.
Somehow I don't believe that.
Well, at this time, I'm experienced.
Yes, but she's been doing it for longer than you have.
But now, after a while, you're experienced and you know how it is.
If I told her you said that, would she agree?
I don't care what she says. I know. No, she'd probably say she's better. But you know what, then?
If anything, she's nice to deal with, Linda.
Everybody I work with really likes me. I hate to say it.
I like my broker.
Good.
Aside from the fact that she laughs a lot, I like her.
Then I hired her.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but someone else directed you towards her.
No.
They give you a list of remember people to deal with.
But Mommy and Daddy, you don't realize what we did. We interviewed her.
Was it Marie who gave you the list? I'm trying to remember.
But then,
Friedwald, we're in New City now?
you know what happened? I'll explain it to you. Marie gave us the list, okay? I saw somebody who lived in Wesley Hills.
Yeah, you said this before.
But Mommy and Daddy met her first before you met her. I promise you that.
I believe you did anyway.
Mommy and Daddy met
I don't
her.
believe Dad was involved.
Mommy and Daddy met her first. And we kind of interviewed her. And we liked her.
I didn't like her laughing.
I know that. But she's very nice. She's very knowledgeable. We're very fortunate that she is knowledgeable, and she's taught me a lot as a broker.
Which is why I say she's more knowledgeable than you are.
After a while, you get to know the stuff. If you have a
But there's new things all the time.
and it's new things for her too.
True, but I still think she knows more than you
Well,
do.
then she's busier. I don't want a full-time job of this. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, it seems like you do.
she has a full-time job.
More so than you, but you still have a lot of people.
I have a lot of people.
What was it, like 6?
More. 8. She has, I don't know, 20, 30. I can't keep up. I would never want that. But everybody I work with, I hate to say it, really likes me. Like, I'm friendly.
I thought you said a lot of the people that you work with aren't able to talk.
Then I'm talking about the parents. They're the ones that do the hiring.
Do you talk to the parents?
Very much so. I'm very friendly with them. I really get along with everybody I work with.
And you made it seem like one of them is that Zweig person, right?
Oh yeah, well, Julie is whatever. But I'm talking about people that weren't even my friends that they hired me.
She was Dad's friend.
Yeah, but I feel bad for her. And I go out of my way, not that
What happened to that other person who you said a husband died, if I recall?
What are you talking about?
Didn't you say his name was Tokarski, if I recall?
Who?
Wasn't that a guy?
Tokarski?
Yeah.
His wife died.
Oh, that wasn't the husband then.
No, very sad.
Wasn't that another one of Dad's friends?
From the shul. And then Daddy had him do some work around the store.
Yeah, it was true.
His
Around
wife
Bronx?
was yeah. He was able to help and he wanted to make some extra money. Yeah. Well, we know him from the shul. And that's so sad then.
Why did I think the name was Shari? Am I wrong?
Shari, yeah. And her kids were, they have three, how many kids? One, two,
And let me guess, they're all younger
They
than
have
me?
4 kids now. 4 kids. I think there's only one younger than you. And guess what her younger kid's name is?
I'm assuming you're going to say Yonatan.
No. She refers to him as Benji.
Oh, why did I think there was a Yonatan somewhere?
No. And they live...
Didn't you say you met him in Baltimore or something? I don't know.
That's Stewie's kid.
Oh, so that's someone else.
That's your cousin Stewie. Sandra
Oh,
Stewie's
when you
kid.
said Stewie, I was thinking Reich.
No, that's your cousin Stewie's kid.
You don't understand that?
But I know a lot. Honest taught me a lot. But when you learn something from a good teacher...
I used to remember her coming all the time to the house.
But if you know somebody, if you learn something from a good teacher, you know she was a good teacher. Very fortunate, and you're fortunate. But now... If you
I never think of her as a teacher, though.
But she's taught me a lot, and now I know a lot. And the more you do broker, she's been a broker a lot longer than I have. But the more you do it, the more you get an experienced broker. I've been doing it for quite a few years.
I don't honestly know how long you've been doing it.
Too long.
16 years?
No, but I don't know. 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, 3 years. Wait, maybe more. So and if I do have a question, I call Lorna, but I know a lot of things.
First off,
And a lot of
Mom?
people,
Mom?
what?
First off, the pills just fell in my pocket. And secondly, I noticed that I took the wrong ones. Is that okay?
What?
I took the 7 o'clock pills from yesterday.
Oh, I don't Ben,
I guess it doesn't matter. It's still 7 o'clock pills.
do you ever hear of the word, do you ever hear this expression, networking?
Yeah.
What is that?
Are you gonna answer me, though?
No.
That's okay, even though it's the wrong day, right?
Ben, think about it. Ben, what is the definition of networking?
That you organize with people that you know to try to find a job.
Well, it's more than that. Like you learn things from other people. You sort of. That's when you have.
Is that a limo, by the way?
No, it's a van. That
Long
might
van.
be. You know where you are?
I do not, but it looks like they're around New City.
Did you feel the hills when we were driving?
Honestly, no.
There are hills in New City.
Oh, you should know. When we used to drive to New City all the time, I don't know why. Why did I drive? Ben's ears would be popping, and he says,
Did it have to do with Larry, maybe?
Maybe. but always up where, you know the way it goes up and down, and then
Either that or bowling. It was one of those two things.
But I drove it all the time,
Yes?
maybe a lot. I drove him, and he says, "Oh, are we in the hill?" Because his ears started popping. Remember?
I didn't have that problem today.
But you usually do, right? Too busy talking. Maybe. He always says, "Are we in the hill?" Oh, you never heard that expression? I take him to the butcher. You've been to the butcher a few times.
Yeah, but not. I thought he doesn't work here anymore.
Right, but you've been where the butcher gave him Ben.
There used to be so many places there.
Right, but Ben, we used to go?
I was saying bowling and I was saying Larry.
And the butcher used to go for a ride. That's Ben went to the butcher.
You still say you see Larry's sign there?
I don't know. Let's take a look. I did the last time I was here. I used to take you to Larry. Yeah, I used to take you to Larry a lot. That's true. Is Larry's name there? Yeah, he's still there.
Does that mean he works there or not?
He can't. Just have an office.
Why? I think what he probably did, what he told me he was doing he was maybe coming in trying to rent a place like Rich. I think that's what his goal was. I had told him to speak to Rich about that because you know the way Rich rents out his spot to different people.
Well, only one.
Okay, but he did it even in Pomona.
I didn't know about Pomona.
So I think Larry might do virtual, and you know, probably. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in touch with him, but that's what all these people do nowadays. They're doing virtual, and maybe he has to come into the office a day. You know?
Do you want me to get out of the car as soon as you get there?
Yes.
And there's pickleball courts. The Marlene.
There's the library, and then there comes the post office, and then I'm guessing I'm going to see it.
Yeah, Ben knows his way.
Yeah, but once I get to the post office, I really don't know much about what's there.
Okay, now you'll see where
There's that.
there's Sunrise. I think that's Sunrise. There's the post office. But you knew when you were with Larry, what you used to walk from you once walked to his office to Zucker?
No, I once walked from his office to Zucker.
From his office. And how'd you get back?
I'm guessing we walked back. And for some reason, I remember us talking about Bradley's during that trip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to drive you to Larry all the time. How'd you go to Larry? You had to get there with me. And one time he
Maybe I might have used a tour bus, but most of the time it was you.
No, you didn't use the tour bus then. And then you used to, one time he was very nice. He brought you on
Smells
site.
in the trunk and
Yeah. I was just thinking.
I used a tour bus in the 90s.
Yeah, but I think with Larry.
I remember I went to the annual mall. I didn't know much about it, so you brought me home. And then during that trip, you brought me to the Nobody Beats the Wiz store.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, this Ben, you see what we're doing? Yes, I do. Wait, now say that again? Say that again?
That you brought me to the Nobody Beats the Wiz store on the way back from the mall.
What more?
Nanuet.
Oh, yeah.
That place doesn't exist anymore.
Stuff was long ago. And I took you so many times to Posa.
Boza still exists.
I know, but I remember.
Do I smell
taking you as a
skunk?
kid. What?
Do I smell skunk?
It's our trunk is we spilled something. I don't know how, and we gotta clean it out. You gotta take that thing and hose it down or something.
Do I want to know? Is that why you had the trunk open last night?
No, we accidentally did. Boy, this park is. Maybe we'll see Marlene here.
It seems like such a long walk. How did I get there?
I know. I should ask Marlene. Tell Marlene. And she'll say, "Oh yeah, Fred could drive me." Okay, we know where to drop you off. You know,
why did I think I'd say Adler for a second?
Where's the pickleball courts?
It says Town of Clarkstown, though.
So funny. Yeah, this is your park, Ben.
I thought Clarkstown was Germans.
then get out.
There's many fields. Okay.
You want me to get out now?
Yeah. Just said, get in.
Then how will I know where you are?
We'll find
We'll find you. We know where you are.
Boy, I can't. Wait.
On this field.
Pocketbook and all.
Ahem.